guys, what is up? My name is Meaghan and welcome back to Book Talk with Meg, or welcome if you are new. Today I'm here with a really exciting video, and that is CANDYLAND Picks My TBR March edition. If you guys have not seen my last few videos or you weren't following me before, you wouldn't know that I started this TBR series in the month of February. I was inspired by a lot of other people and their TBR games and decided to create my own. So this is quite literally me playing the game of CANDYLAND with obviously some little tweaks here and there to find what I will be reading for the next month. So if you guys haven't seen my first one and you would like more of the rules, explanations, and all that kind of stuff, I will link in the cards and in the description my first video where everything is explained. But if you feel you don't need it, or you don't need a refresher, or you've seen February's TBR, then we'll just hop on in. I did want to mention that I did change a few of the prompts this month. I might change them every month, or these might be the prompts that I stick with. It's just that in the month of February, I realized some of the prompts weren't really functioning for the setup I have with my bookshelves and how I store my books and just my lifestyle in general. So we're switching it up a bit, and if you guys also are curious to see how I did with my February reading, everything will be explained in my next weekly vlog, which will be going up after this. I will try to link it once it's out, but be on the lookout for that if you want to know more about my February reading month. Without further ado, let's hop on in. So, just a quick reminder, I do start where I ended last on the board, so where I ended in February is where I am starting in March. Once I did spin the wheel for the first time, which again, my shirt is different in the video because I don't wear the same clothes when I can film and you guys don't see me, and when you actually have to see my person, you know. But the first spin fell on purple, and purple is the prompt of a recent purchase, and for that I'm going to talk about a book and pick that book, but while inserting a picture because it's actually on its way to me, so it's very recent. That is the Backstages. It is a graphic novel, the first in a series. I don't know much about it. I'm pretty sure it's YA, and it follows a bunch of teens that work the backstage of a theater and like crazy things start happening. I don't know if there's paranormal elements in there or not, but I've heard a bunch of great reviews and it's one that's been really intriguing to me, so I purchased it. And you know, graphic novels are an easy way to start a TBR because we don't know what's going to happen next. The next roll was a double green, which meant I went to the second closest green to me, and green is also a new prompt. It is a prompt where once I am done my turn, I will spin the wheel again, and with that color, we'll choose a book that corresponds to it. So if I fall on purple, then I need to find a book that has purple on it, or the spine is purple. So for obviously the first green, I did spin the wheel and ended up falling on orange. For orange, I decided to go with The Distance Between Us by Casey West because it's heckin' orange, you know. This is a YA contemporary, and it is on Casey West's backlist. This was published a while ago. It's been on my TBR for a long time, which is why I decided to read it. I do want to read all of Casey West's books. This is one I haven't read, and I think it has a focus on kind of like differences in the social standards, where our main character doesn't really want to mingle with people who are from the higher class. I think she has some prejudice against people who have money, I guess from life experience. Maybe her parents thought her to be that way, and she meets this boy. Obviously he's probably a lot richer than she is, and so they will probably develop maybe like a hate to love, or just a relationship in general, while still being a very fluffy and cutesy kind of book, because it remains a Casey West novel. So that's my pick for that prompt. then once we spin the wheel again, I did fall on another double green, which means that I will be adding a roll to the already established 7 rolls for this month, because once I fall on the same color twice, I need to add a roll. Again, fell on green, so I had to spin again for the color, and it fell on yellow. For that, I chose to go with Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed because, well, it's freaking yellow. I did start this in February, but I didn't manage to actually finish it, so I'm transferring it to the month of March because I'm not even 50% of the way through yet. It is a pretty chunky book. This is a young adult contemporary that has a dual perspective. We follow Jamie and Maya. This is pretty heavily focused on politics. We follow our main 2 characters as they kind of get together. I will not explain why, because spoilers, but they do some canvassing together, which means they basically go knock on people's doors and try to get their vote for a specific party or person, and we kind of follow their relationship along the way. It's very heavy in its topics, more than I expected from like Becky Albertalli, because we do have a lot of religious prejudice that are explored in this book. Maya is Muslim and Jamie is Jewish. It's a lot of conversation that mix politics and religion together, but with a beautiful side of romance. So that's that for that one. I then fell on a double blue, which again means I advanced to the second nearest blue to me, and blue is now a 5-star prediction, which I will have a video very soon with my actual 5-star predictions, but for now I went with an obvious choice, and that is Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. So many yellow books in this TBR. They match my shirt. But I chose this because both Heartstopper Volume 1 and Volume 2 were books that I gave 5 stars to. This is a graphic novel series, a YA graphic novel series that follows 2 boys who form a relationship, obviously a friendship first and then a relationship. It follows Nick and Charlie. Charlie is openly gay and Nick believes he's straight until he encounters Charlie and then he starts to question his sexuality. We follow them as they go from acquaintance to friends to forming a romance. This is the 3rd volume and I believe they go on a trip to Paris or maybe more than one place in Europe in this, but that's the premise of that one. If I gave both first books in the series 5 stars, I'm guessing it's going to be a 5 stars as well. I then spin the wheel again and fell on pink candy, which means I'm going backwards on the board to find the candy and obviously land on it. If you guys remember, a candy means that I have to read double the prompt. So for this, pink means a YA or a contemporary novel, so I need to read 2 of them. The first one, which I chose, is actually on its way to me, and that is The Upside of Falling. It was a February release, and I don't remember much of the premise, but I did read the synopsis, and I think I'm going to love it. It looks like a light, fluffy YA contemporary, and from the reviews I've seen, everybody seems to be enjoying it, so I think I will as well. And the other book that I did choose for that prompt is We Didn't Ask for This by Adi Al-Sad, which is an arc. It comes out April 7th, I believe. I love Adi Al-Sad. I've read pretty much all his books, and so that's why I requested this arc. This follows a bunch of different teens who are in this kind of high school seniors lock-in where they sleep in their school for one night, and it's kind of like a tradition, and a lot of people take this seriously where they believe like things can be accomplished during that night. Some people just want to have fun, some people have goals they want to reach or are kind of like activists, and it's kind of following all of them together during that night. So I think it's going to be interesting. I know there are environmental commentary in this book as well, so very anxious to see where this brings me. And obviously I'm going to review it for you guys because this is a review copy, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested. I then fell on a red block, red for romance, and for that, it's another book that's coming to me. Surprise, we're spoiling the entire haul that's coming up. And that is The Worst Best Man by Meaghan. I forget her last name. Again, there will be a picture. This one I chose to read because everybody says that if you love The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which is one of my favorites, you will love this. Obviously it doesn't have the exact same plot, but apparently it feels very similar. This follows our main character who is in the wedding planning business. She was to get married herself, but she was left at the altar because her soon-to-be husband's brother kind of convinced him to get out of the wedding, and so she obviously resents him, but a few years later she actually needs to work with that said brother to gain an entry place as a wedding planner for this very prestigious hotel. It's a hate to love romance, and I believe our main character is of color as well, so there's diversity in there. I can't wait. If it does anything to me like The Unhoneymooners did, it's probably going to be my favorites of 2020. Just saying. We then fell on Orange, and Orange is a TBR vet, which means a book that's been on my TBR for more than a year, and for that I went with The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This is a book that has a lot of triggers, so if you guys are interested in this, I would highly suggest doing some research beforehand, because I know this deals with topics like rape culture, I believe. I've been steering clear from this book because obviously I think I'm going to be emotionally destroyed, but I finally think I'm ready for it. I've seen such great reviews about this, and I'm just very intrigued. I'm hoping it's going to bring out some emotion in me, like Heart in the Body and the World did by Deb Colati, which I read in January. Have a review for if you're interested. That's mainly why I'm picking it up, because I want to feel the same kind of emotions, and it does tackle important topics just like that other book did. So that's what I know about it. I know it's triggering, but it's everybody's favorite book, and specifically Mindy McGinnis's best book, I believe. So it's time to knock it out of my TBR. We then fell on Yellow, which means most anticipated, and for that I went with a book that is not out yet and will be releasing obviously in the month of March, and that is The Moment of Truth by Casey West. Anything Casey West I will read. I love a lot of her books. Some books kind of fell flat. What I know about this book is that it follows a main character who is into swimming, I believe, and it's also correlated with Love, Life, and the List, as well as Fame, Faith, and the First Kiss. They are all kind of part of the same world where the main characters appear in the other books. I really did enjoy Love, Life, and the List. Really didn't enjoy Fame, Faith, and the First Kiss, so we'll see where The Moment of Truth falls. I know we had another name as well in the beginning, which I think fit it better than The Moment of Truth because there was alliteration in there, like the other two books, but she kind of went off and steered clear of alliteration this time, so we're reading that. Also, we'll be doing a full vlog dedicated to that one if you guys want to see my reactions, because I love Casey West books so much, and they usually kind of make me emo, so. For my last roll, I fell on Blue, which again, 5-star prediction. For that one, I went with Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. This is the sequel to The Simple Wild, which I read in February and freaking adored. I loved the relationship, the Alaskan setting, the family dynamics, just how emotional and raw it was. Our main character, I had a little bit of a hard time with at first, but her character growth was worth the wait. Obviously, Wild at Heart is a sequel. We followed the same characters. We're in Alaska again, so I think I'm gonna love it, hence the 5-star prediction. Again, this one is on its way to me. So that's it for this month's TBR. Wish me luck. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are reading for the month of March, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys!